Okay, good. So what we're going to do now is talk about the next little section. I did want to point out another error that I made in my lecture with y'all last time. So, I said that Terah brings his 3 sons up to Haran, but that's not true. Haran, one of his sons, whose name is Haran, he dies before they get to Haran. And then Nahor, it doesn't mention anything about him, so presumably he stays behind. And so, the only people that are going with Terah are Abram, Lot, and Sarai. I don't know if anybody caught that, but it's crazy with it being recorded. It's the mistakes, and then being in the book, the mistakes are very obvious to me, to my embarrassment, every morning when I read my own stuff. Like, man, why didn't I prove this before? Okay, so some things, we're going to lay some more groundwork for how to read the texts well. Today, before we've talked about the principle of mediated universalism. You remember this term, mediated universalism? So this is a principle to keep in mind that helps us as we're reading the entire Bible, not just the story of Abraham. So these are some important principles to get down. So can anybody tell me what we said mediated universalism means? Way in the back. Yes. Yes. That's exactly right. So salvation is going to come through a particular people to save all of mankind. Very good. So so God wants to save everybody, the universalism part, but it's going to be mediated. He's going to choose a particular people who are going to be very special because through them he wants to save the world, and that comes to its fullness in Jesus Christ. So, okay. Very good. So the principle that we're going to go over today is called, you can call it the 2 cities. The city of God and the city of man. Okay? The city of God and the city of man. So, St. Augustine is a church father who wrote a big old thick work called The City of God. And he goes through human history and he shows how you can basically divide mankind up into 2 camps. The city of God and the city of man. And these 2 communities of people, while we're still in this world, are mixed. But at the end of time, God will separate the 2. And so the origin of the city of God and the city of man, he goes through secular history. So he talks about the founding of the city of Rome, and he talks about how you can see the city of man very evident there. We're going to talk about the characteristics of the city of man. And then he's going to talk about, in the scriptures, how you see the city of God come to birth, and you see its development, and then you see its final end. The final end of the city of God, anybody guess where everybody who's in the city of God ends up? Heaven. Very good. So we said, we drew it in blue because that's the sky. It's like heaven, okay?
Gehenna.
City of man. Where does that end you up? Hell. Yes. Very good. Okay. So, what we're going to do, he does not draw pictures for us, unfortunately. But I want to just illustrate a little bit of what's going on here. So, if you think about these 2 cities, they're going to be laid on some foundations. And so the foundation of the city of God is going to be on humility. An acknowledgement that everything that we have and we are comes from God. and we are nothing without him. The foundation of the city of man, or also called the earthly city. I'll just write earthly city. This is the heavenly city. The foundation is going to be, any guesses?
Pride.
Pride. Very good. Pride. Okay. So, every human person, but also every human culture and community, civilization, has this fundamental choice. What are we going to build? Pope Leo begins his most recent encyclical on AI with these two images. He says, what are we going to build? Are we going to build the Tower of Babel, which is this image of the city of man, where it's all about glorifying ourselves, making a name for myself, all the glory going to me? Or are we going to try to build this city of God? And he uses the image of the rebuilding of the city of Jerusalem, particularly the walls of Jerusalem that Nehemiah goes and he builds. And it's a beautiful story. It's one of those things where there's names upon names upon names, and you're reading it, you're like, this is why I don't read the Bible. Okay? But what he's doing is he's pulling in, Nehemiah describes all the different families that build their sections of the wall of Jerusalem. And so this is a community effort, not about glorifying themselves, but about together coming to build something for God, the place where God wants to dwell. So he uses those two images, like a good Augustinian that he is. He has the city of God, city of man going on in the background all the time. So we have two choices before us. Where's the glory going to go? So where's the glory? To whom? To whom be the glory? If you're in the city of God, it's going to God. To whom be the glory? If you're living for yourself? Me. Yeah. To whom be the glory? The me monster comes out. Me. Anybody familiar with Brian Regan? He's a comedian. Go look up on YouTube, after you do your prayer tomorrow, go look on YouTube, Brian Regan, Me Monster. Okay? That'll show you what the city of man is like. Okay? To whom be the glory? On me. Myself. I. So these two cities have two foundations. And so the city of God, we'll just draw it like a house. This is a community of love. Here's a little door. Here's two little windows. It's happy. It's happy. This is... Okay, city of God's very happy. Okay. The city of man wants to build a tower. Okay, glorifying ourselves. Let us make a name for ourselves. Trying to take the place of God. So this, I need to consult my notes, or I'm just going to get carried away with these silly drawings. Okay, so the city of man, the city of God is going to have certain goods that they are going to prioritize. Okay? And the city of man is going to have certain goods that they're going to prioritize. And it's easier to start with the city of man. So the goods that these people want, we'll just draw some money bags here. Are going to be the things of the world. Wealth, power, pleasure, fame. And so these are the goods that they're seeking. The problem with seeking those things alone is that these goods are not shareable. If I have a hot dog, Tramel does not have that hot dog. Okay? I know. I could split it in half, but then neither of us gets the whole hot dog. Okay? So these goods of this world, there's nothing bad about them in themselves, but they're not shareable. And so it can breed, if we're only seeking these worldly goods, it can breed competition in an unhealthy way, where I am constantly trying to beat another person to get my own stuff. And so what we're going to do here is we're just going to break open this money bag. It's going to spill out everywhere because you never actually get what you're seeking in the end, because you wind up in hell. Okay. But nobody truly gets what they want. It's all going to be lost in the end. Now, the goods of the city of God are different in nature. The people in the city of God are seeking different things. What are maybe some goods that people in the city of God might be desiring before the worldly goods?
Love.
Love. Very good.
Charity.
Charity.
Graces.
Kindness. Grace. Graces. Yes. God's own life. Seeking to live within God. Our God who is love. These goods actually grow when you share them with others. Right? And actually, if we try to keep these other goods for ourselves, we can't actually keep it. Right? You can't keep faith if you're not imparting the faith to others. You can't keep love if you're not loving others. We can't keep God. Nobody can possess God anyway in that exclusive sense if we're not trying to share God with others. But if we do, it actually increases for everybody else. And so these money bags are expanding. And in fact, you could say that there's treasure being stored up in heaven. Anybody heard that from someone before? Jesus Christ? Okay. So these are the two goods that the difference in the goods that these two cities are seeking. Again, nothing wrong with worldly things in themselves. We need food to survive. We need money to run the air conditioning. But we can't seek them for their own sake. Okay, another difference between the two is that there's going to be a war that happens. So in these, in this competition for the things of this world, this is going to cause a fracture in the city of man. And so the city of man is divided against itself. The city of man is at war with itself. It's a deep rift. Because if I have something, somebody else is trying to take it from me. Somebody else has something, I don't have it, I need it. Now there's something else that also goes on here. There's not just a war within the city of man against itself. There's actually a war that's happening between the city of God and the city of man. And we might not like to think of it as a war, but it's just a different type of war. Where the city of God is attacking with this sword. Attacking the city of man with its own goods. Okay. Truth, love, mercy. Because at the end of the day, these things are going to, the goal of waging this war is for the city of man to eventually convert, Because nobody is fixed in one particular city. And in fact, while we're still in this world, this line between the two cities, goes through the human heart. But what we want to have happen is we want to destroy our enemy. We want to, if we're in the city of God, we want the city of man to be destroyed. But St. Augustine says that we destroy our enemy whenever we make him our friend. We destroy our enemy whenever he's no longer an enemy, because we've won him over into the city of God. And now we're able to share even more abundantly in the life and love of God, because another member who truly belongs to the city of God has been brought into it. So there's two wars going on. And you're going to see this throughout the scriptures. And in a particular way, chapter 13 and 14 that we're going to look at, there's going to be different times where we can see the city of man at war within itself, and other times where we can see the city of God and the city of man also at war in a certain sense. Okay. So this is what's happening in this world. And so then at the end of time, as I mentioned at the very start, there's two ends for both of these cities. Those who are at the end of their life in the city of God, in the state of grace, they enjoy heaven. So this is the city of God ends up in heaven. And the city of man falls down to hell. In the deep, deep absence of God. Okay. This is fire. Okay. But it's what they've wanted all along. Okay. When we choose to be in this city, we choose only ourselves against God, because we see God as our enemy. And ultimately, God's going to give us what we want. And if it's all these empty things, then we'll be empty for all of eternity. But if it's God, then He will give us Himself for all of eternity. This is basically the Great Divorce. Have y'all read C.S. Lewis's The Great Divorce? This is the description. This is what's the categories that he's dealing with too. So it's a fascinating thing. There's this image. The guy. I mean, it's been like maybe 14 years, I think, since I've read that. But I'll try to remember the best I can. The guy actually doesn't know if he's in heaven or hell. He's like kind of given a tour of these different places, and he sees these communities of people where they keep moving farther and farther away from each other, and so this person spends his whole eternity moving to a different house, further and further away from everybody else, because he just can't stand it. Okay, and that this is hell. This is this eternal isolation from God and from others, and all we're left with is our empty self. I forget what heaven's like. You just have to read it again. Anyway, any questions on this schema, this principle, which will help us reading all of the Bible? Good. Okay. Everybody got the drawings down? Let me make sure I didn't miss any of my things that I want to talk about. Oh, okay. Great. One last thing. So, in the scriptures, there's going to be two cities in particular that embody these two cities. One of them, the city of man, in red, is Babylon. Okay, so the city of Babylon. Babylon. Okay. So a lot of times, Babylon will be used to just refer to this whole way of looking at fallen humanity. Mankind having chosen against God, trying to do things on their own. the city of God, the archetypical city of God, is going to be Jerusalem. So there are many other cities that will fall into these different camps at different times. Like Egypt will kind of represent this city of man and enter into this dynamic. Sodom and Gomorrah, we're going to see how they kind of enter into this dynamic. Over here, Jerusalem, the city, which is the city of David, or just Israel in particular, as a united nation. But these are different ways in which the Bible is going to talk about these realities, especially in the book of Revelation. Okay, questions on that?